gonna start this thing or what?
Well, hello once again. We'd like to welcome you to another episode of Reblogatog. This will be episode 17, 18.
You gonna edit that out? Episode 18.
Is it 18?
Reblogatog episode 18.
This week...
Like we need to say that. I don't.
Right. Well, I just like to know for myself. Hello again.
Write it down.
To Reblogatog, where we're gonna go through the best questions asked to Mark Rosewater on his Tumblr account this week.
Nah, it's the ones I like the best.
Yeah, we like to call those the best ones. So we're going to go through, we're going to debate what we think the actual proper answers to these things are.
We are?
Yeah.
Is this something new?
Yeah, kind of. You know.
We're going to debate?
No, not really.
Like,
but
argue, counter-argument, rebuttal? Do I have 1 minute, 2 minutes? How long do I have?
So we will start with questions from 3rd of July and move forward to today, to yesterday. Any of that work for you?
See what happens when I let the kid do it?
I tried, and he kept interrupting me. You saw that, right? Y'all saw that.
You know, you interrupted me for 18 years. All right,
I haven't stopped yet.
Hi, Mark. I was wondering, where do Planeswalker sparks come from, lore-wise? They are born with them, I believe. Yeah, it's just something you're either born with or you're not, you know. It's not like, I don't know, can you imagine like a little goblin spark setter or something, you know? He just, you know, he just runs around and goes, I like that guy. Spark, you know.
Is that what Squee does?
Maybe, I don't know, you know.
He's immortal for some reason.
He's immortal, so he could be the one out there planting sparks.
Yeah.
Spark planter. Maybe
Spark
that'd be
planter.
a green thing, though. Maybe that'd be an elf that would do it. Maybe we have a red-green goblin. Since
Gruul?
you're planting spark. Yeah, Gruul.
Gruul. That's where sparks come from.
Yeah.
From Gruul.
Spark planting. All right. Is black and or red allowed to self-discard to generate mana? Mero says temporary mana is primarily a red thing. Green can do it a little, and black can do it occasionally if an extra cost is involved.
Like,
generally life.
Yeah.
Generally life.
I'd be down with discarding some cards to generate mana. Seems like a good trade-off depending.
Can I get a maybe on another Omnath card in Zendikar Rising? Getting another color. Maybe.
I hope he's
They
not
keep
just
adding
teasing.
a color every time they print him.
I hope he's not just teasing.
Started as mono, went to 2 and 3. We're only 2 away from getting all the way there.
Right. He's got to be nano white now, I think, next, don't you think?
And then they could make him just colorless.
Yeah.
To complete the cycle. You can hit for the cycle then. But no color isn't a color, Darren. I know.
Has a seat at the council of colors.
Oh, if phasing gets to the all systems are go for deciduous, do we have to worry about the future of blink/flicker cards for the ETB, LTB in the future?
Right.
Adding phasing doesn't mean flickering goes away. Some flickering effects could change the phasing, though.
Yeah.
So just so there's not so much of the flickering stuff.
Yeah.
There are answers that don't let, you know, if you O-ring something, it doesn't give them another ETB because you took out a really neat thing. Maybe you finally were able to do something to their planeswalker that exiled it and it was ticked all the way down to 1 and then they get it back and it's all the way up.
Yeah.
You know, so phasing would be a better solution. Yeah. I'd like to compliment this year's core set. Well, I would too. It's a great core set. Most core sets are very underwhelming. But this time the reprints are great. The complexity is good enough for even experienced drafters to find something to entertain us. And even a decent number of the commons and uncommons are worth keeping. Most core sets in the past I've played had no good commons and few decent uncommons. And yet I can see newcomers can handle the complexity without becoming overwhelmed. I think you finally hit the right balance. He says happy to hear that. I'm going to tell you what I believe to be true about this year's core set. Is that it's not a core set. In that it's just another premier set that's not tied to one plane.
Well, we kind of
I don't think there's a lot of old core material there.
We started to see that last year with Core 20, though.
We did.
Core 21 pushed much harder that direction, but Core 20 already was pushing that direction.
Complexity levels higher. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of new flashy mechanics, but we brought back an old difficult one just on one card. And because now, I think part of it stems from the fact that WotC's just given in to the fact that most people play Commander to learn to play, and so be damned to the complexity, right. Full steam ahead.
Essentially.
That's what I believe. How do y'all feel? Could we have a set without Planeswalkers? They warp games of Limited too much. They're the favorite card type by a wide margin. They help sell sets. I'm skeptical that will happen in the near future.
He's dead on with that answer, but
the number of Limited games they warp is so few.
Right.
I mean, outside of War of the Sparks, we had a bunch of them, and then everybody had a bunch, really, right? It's just, this is such a minor, what are you talking about kind of question.
Although I think his initial question is interesting and could be cool to have happen, but not just because I don't like Planeswalkers, but a set with just no Planeswalkers in a set, no Planeswalkers in the story for a set, just like it'd be different. It would be we haven't done that in a long time. I don't see them doing it either, but it would be very different.
Backs that shoulder the game.
I know.
We're going to get into a bunch of scale gradings here.
Yes.
So I think we're going to hit on the three big ones. I'm trying to remember. If you're not familiar, I'll start it with a storm scale. Storm is a broken mechanic where when you cast a spell, you get a copy for every spell that was casted before it passed Storm. And so Storm is something that we're never going to see in Standard again. No. So it's a 10 on the Storm scale. It's like never going to happen. A 1 means they do it all the time.
Flying.
So, so that's how the scales work. There's also a Venser scale, which is the likelihood of Planeswalker appearing in a Standard set.
Right.
And there's the Rabia scale, Rabia scale, which is the likelihood of us returning
to a plane,
to a particular plane. And I think that hits all the scales. If not, we'll touch base on it.
I believe there is one more scale, but I don't believe we're talking about it. Right?
Yeah, I don't believe we're talking about it today. So we're going to shoot through a bunch of these, and it's neat to kind of gauge where he thinks these things are.
It is.
He's a designer, head designer, so you ought to know. I love Decoria. Where is it on the Rabia scale? A 4. So 4 is not bad. Yeah. More likely we're going to go back to Decoria, but
give us the 5 years, yada yada.
Companion on the Storm scale.
9.
Calls it a 9.
A
9. Did not go well. They had to morph the mechanic. Yeah. Now it's no good.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Vivian on the Venser scale. She's a 3. So pretty likely we're going to see Vivian.
We're going to see lots of Vivian for a while.
I want to see some Garrick, man.
I know.
We've seen Vivian for a while. We've been Nissalas for a while. Let's see some Garrick.
We got Garrick in M21.
Yeah. Hey, Garrick. Woo! He's finally mono green. We get one. Thank you so much.
Well, they're not going to put more than one Garrick in the set. It's not the Garrick set.
No, but we could get Garrick, next set. The set after that. So, Whereas Mutate on the Storm scale calls it a 6. It is a little bit higher complexity.
Yeah.
I think
we'll see it back again.
I'm not sure. I'm not going to say because I think I have some with some comments here. So let's get through all the comments too. Hi, Mark. So what would Lorwyn and Shadowmoor be on the Rabia scale? He puts them at a 7 and a 6 if he's feeling generous.
Yeah.
Again,
the no humans thing.
They tested bad. Not likely to return. He talks about them all the time. So Ikoria being a 4 on the Rabia scale and Kaladesh being a 6, which I skipped that one because it's in the comment.
Right.
Makes no sense to me. Kaladesh was a meh for me, but I don't really see why it's a 6. That world seems way more interesting, and the themes were better than Ikoria. Could you go deeper as to why specifically these two have a difference of 2 degrees between them? 2 degrees. All right. So definitely connect them with Kevin Bacon.
Right.
Bacon. Ikoria did well on the metrics, where Kaladesh had a tougher time.
Right.
We got some bannings from Kaladesh. Energy had some issues.
Does he touch on that in one of the next questions?
I don't recall, but maybe.
I believe that has a lot to do with it as well.
How about Alara on the Arabia scale? Puts it at a 5. It's in the middle. I mean, there's been a little. He talks a little bit about maybe trying to get back, but
yeah.
Angrath on the Venser scale. He's our Minotaur Planeswalker. Puts him at a 6.
He just wants to get home to see his kids, man.
Yeah. I feel like Kaladesh is much less a problem with the plane, but just the temporary standard environment. I found it to be up there as some of people's favorites worlds. Obviously, it's no Ravnica, Innistrad, or Zendikar.
Right.
But still. In the same way that Ikoria or Eldraine are pretty good planes despite their damage to every format, Kaladesh is pretty cool and feels like it can be delved into deeper. Mero says he's a huge fan of Kaladesh. It's not an issue of me wanting to do it. Returns are very dependent on how previous visits went. I should stress that Kaladesh's situation is very complex. It did quite well in some ways and struggled in others.
Right.
And so I think, the tournament play has something to do with it. The problems with energy have something to do with it.
I feel like
it is our Etherpunk world.
It is the Etherpunk world. I feel like we will go back, though, just because we've answered other questions here on Reblogatog, he's answered questions on Blogatog about energy and how he feels like energy will be making a comeback. So I feel like we will see Kaladesh if we see energy, since they're so closely tied.
Fair enough. Does Oko have a number on the Venser scale? I like his design as a character, but does a card being banned make it harder for the character to return? Now, he doesn't give us a number, but he says no. If anything, having a card people remember ups your chances of return.
That's fair.
So
people will not forget Oko.
People will not forget Oko, so Oko's a thing. We're going to continue on this string.
Yes, the scales.
Who's a 1 on the Venser scale? Now, you people out there who just mentally or out loud shouted, Jace! That's not who he said.
No.
Doesn't mean Jace isn't, but he says Chandra. Chandra's a 1.
I do believe I've seen somewhere that, I know that those are the 2 most popular Planeswalkers, but I don't know if it's actually who's more popular. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually Chandra.
It's very close. Hi, Mark. Where do you think Amonkhet is on the Storm scale? I think he means the Arabia scale.
Yeah.
But we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt because Mark doesn't even call him out. It's a 5.
I'd like to go back to Amonkhet.
It'd be weird with no Nicol Bolas. See what happened to the world without him, hey, I'm going to teach you so you can die for me.
Right. Well, Hazaret is the only god that lived and only got 1 arm, was trying to lead the survivors through the desert. I'm kind of interested, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, what's going on there now? So it'd be interesting. Where is Kaldheim on the Arabia scale? Says his guess is a 7, and any plane based on Norse mythology is probably a 5. So we're more likely to get one straight up Norse mythology
than Kaldheim.
Is what he's saying. Because we all want Norse. That's got to be coming next year.
It's got to be.
It's been on the short list for so long.
Yeah.
We cleaned up so much stuff in the last 2 or 3 years on the short list. We got to get the Norse plane, and we got to get that legendary squirrel.
We got to get the legendary squirrel.
We got to get Ratatasker. We got to. We got to. I can say it real good now. We got to get him.
You'll just have to learn how to say whatever they actually name it.
That's true. Probably be like
Bob.
No, we already got a Bob.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Can't call him Bob. How well was the return to Theros received? Where is it on the Arabia scale now? It's a 3. It was actually pretty well received.
Yeah.
I've seen some people saying no, but it actually was.
Yeah.
And I think they did a really good job. Standard's been in a wacky place. That's had something to do with it, but Theros was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Is Chandra the only 1 on the Venser scale? Why would she be higher rated than, say, Jace or Lily or Ajani? There are others. They asked me to name one. See, I told you. People get all right. There's no Jace on there? What's wrong with you? Yeah. Jace probably one they did name their font after him.
Right.
And they're not going to kill Jace. Jace is, like, safe.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Mark, what would you say is the mechanic that has had the biggest move on the Storm scale?
Shocker.
Up or down? Yeah, we've been talking about it lately. If you said phasing, you'd be right.
That's correct.
You would be correct. So I think, unless I missed some, let's get away from chatting up the scale stuff. But
yeah.
We did a big run on the scales there. So I got into Magic in the alpha days.
Oh, wow.
I miss you, Mox Ruby.
Who does?
I miss all the Moxen. And stopped after Homelands. Got back into it during Guilds of Ravnica and got hooked on Commander. Hello, Lord Windgrace. Thank you so much for Core Set 2021. And now for my question. Whew, that was a big preamble right there.
A little bit.
Who would win in a fight? Phyrexia, Slivers, or Eldrazi? Now, before I tell you what the real answer is, what do you think? Don't steal the answer, because you've read it.
I have. I'd have to put my money on Phyrexian still, because they've jacked up everything they've ever touched in the multiverse.
Well, seeing as how we only have 1/3 of the Eldrazi Titans left, unless they're not actually gone like we think they are, we've only got Emrakul. I can't say the Eldrazi could win out.
And she's in a moon.
I don't know. The Slivers are a lot like the Borg, and the Borg just assimilate.
That's fair.
So, the Slivers seem pretty strong to me. But Phyrexia, that freaking oil gets everywhere,
that oil gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere. When you wipe it off, you just go, what now, Master?
Yeah.
You know?
They take that right back to the Sliver Queen, and it's over.
Yeah. So, my best guess, according to Mayro, is that you get Phyrexianized Eldrazi with a belly full of slivers.
That's
I like
terrifying.
That answer. I like that answer. That's pretty good.
A Phyrexianized Eldrazi is a terrifying thought for me to think of, though.
Emrakul doing infect damage. You
God.
don't need Annihilator, do you? Emrakul just does infect.
You don't need a counter.
And all the other little Eldrazi's share her abilities.
Oh, God.
Alright, so we'll move along because that could start nightmares. It's my birthday. I'd like to invoke the right of trivia about my first ever Mythic Rare I opened, Grimgrin Corpseborn, or Innistrad Zombies in general. This was interesting. I never heard this one.
I hadn't either.
The original plan was the leader of the zombies would just be Army of the Damned. That's the card that makes 26 zombies.
Yeah.
It makes 13, they come in tapped, and then it flashes back.
For another 13, yeah.
The idea was that the zombies didn't have a leader. They're just a lot of zombies.
That makes sense.
But set design felt there needed to be a legendary zombie, so they made one. Happy birthday.
Grimgrin the Corpseborn.
I think it'd have been cool if there wouldn't have been. It'd just been like, it's just an army, man. Just a bunch of them.
Just a bunch of Walking Dead.
Yeah. When Zendikar Rising was announced last year, I was kind of like, okay, that's fine. And now that it's the next set, I'm cautiously looking forward to it. Given how different the first 2 sets on Zendikar were from the last 3 sets, did you guys try to satisfy fans of all 5 sets, or did you guys focus more on one version of the plane over the other? In my honest opinion, it kind of does feel like 2 distinct planes in a way because of how different the 2 versus 3 sets feel. He says it's, and we already know this.
We know this, yeah.
It's more like pre-Eldrazi released Adventure World Zendikar.
Yeah.
And we are all so jazzed to go back to that world. We want that. So we are happy as all get out to know that we're finally going to get back there. At least speaking for myself and everybody else. Including you.
Yeah. No, I'm ready for it. I didn't get to play on Zendikar either the last 2 times.
So, reading your column today, the column he's talking about is the Future Magic.
We talked about it on Chatter of the Squirrels.
Yeah, Rosewater goes over all the things that they look at when they're making new sets, all the technologies they have. Double face cards is one of them we're getting ready to talk about.
Right.
Borders, just different things.
You know, surprisingly, I saw this opinion shared by some people online talking about after his article came out. And I was really blown away because I like double face cards.
Yeah. So I hate double face cards. This isn't me. This isn't me. This is rando internet poster.
Right.
Person. Poster person?
Poster person.
Poster person. They are so annoying to turn around because I double sleeve everything. And it's a pain to write down and mark that they're supposed to be turned over. I don't even know what that means.
I have no idea what his problem is.
With the addition of punch-out technology, flip cards are much easier to work with. I don't know what he's talking about here either, because punch-out technology hasn't been used with flip cards. You flip it, you put a marker on it to show it's flipped, so you don't get confused when you tap it. Mark Gottlieb was always right. I'm really lost in a lot about what this person's talking about.
Yeah.
I still get confused. Put a marker on it to show it's flipped over. You still have
whatever.
Sadly, you're in the minority on this one, buddy. He doesn't say buddy. I'm ad-libbing.
Yeah.
Flip cards were very unpopular, while double face cards are one of the highest ranked mechanics in our market research. I recognize it's tough to hear that what you prefer isn't the same preference as other players. We still do plenty of dual state single face cards, but none of them rotate the card.
Yeah.
A technique I've heard of for people who don't like to de-sleeve is to have the opposite side of the card also sleeved, but outside the game, and then swap the cards when it transforms.
Yeah.
Or you can use the checklist card.
I don't really know how hard it is to...
I don't know. If you use a checklist card, you just keep the other cards separate. Have them in a clear sleeve.
Yeah.
Bring out the side that you need. Flipped. It's good.
Sounds
solid.
good to me.
Good to go. All right, so what's more likely? A non-token, non-changeling, sapperling, or a sapperling token with non-1/1 stats? I did know this.
Yeah.
I did know this. The latter. We have consciously made a choice not to make cards that are sapperlings.
Yes.
You will not find a creature that is a sapperling that is not a token.
Yes.
So no, unless it's a changeling, and those are cheating.
Right. We have fungus that will make sapperlings, thalids that will make sapperlings.
Yep.
No sapperlings as cards.
Right. Good morning, Mark. I hope things are well with you. I have a request. One that I assume is not under your control, but that you can pass on to those who do control it. Specifically, would it be possible to include in the bundles a packet of all the tokens created by the cards in the given set, as was done with Amonkhet and Hour of Devastations and Bomb and Eternalized tokens? As a token lover and user, it is often nice to have more, but it can get difficult to collect. Many thanks. He says he'll pass along the request.
This is a brilliant idea. I have to agree with the guy. I know it seems like such a small thing, but it seems like there should be a place you can get all the tokens. And the bundle seems like the right place. It just seems...
Or you can buy the packages of dry erase tokens right here at Grow Gamers Guild. $5 comes along with the dry erase marker. Make your own tokens as you need them. Happy hunting.
Yes, do that. I just think this would be a good idea.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
It is a cool idea. I think they did it for the Amonkhet thing because it was so wacky with the
Eternalized and the
bomb.
bomb. Yeah, I agree. But, yeah, I just always thought, like, you should be able to get all the tokens somewhere. A pack of tokens. If it's... You're not going to buy it. You're not going to buy a pack of tokens from WotC. I mean, the bundle seems like the...
Throw your LGS a little money. They should have some tokens.
That's fair.
Wherever you are. Nis has been revealed to be a green planeswalker. No kidding. Oh, with access to blue. If she had a third color, do you think it would be white? She cares about her race and seems to put focus on its greater good. Or red. She has the temper, I think.
Or black.
Mayro says, or black. Learn more about her early appearances before she was retconned to be good.
Yes, she was... yes.
She was Elfot. I don't know. She was.
Yeah.
She was not a good.
No.
She was created to be not good.
Not good. Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're getting close here, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this for the end because this is very fun to me.
It really is too. I agree.
So we're gonna skip over that one and we'll go.
We're gonna go into all that nonsense that I didn't even read through all of it because I was like, there's a lot of.
Well, if you're not familiar, R&D does a lot of work trying to balance out the planeswalkers that are available in standard at any given time.
Right. Between the colors.
Now I don't track them, and I'm sure that War of the Spark caused a lot of issues.
Right.
Okay.
Went 37 planeswalkers in a set. Things are off balance.
But anyway, somebody writes here, am I wrong for feeling like there is currently quite a bit more mono green planeswalkers than other mono colors in sets recently? And what he means by recently is anybody's guess.
Yes, yeah, how recent?
I'd really like some more mono black planeswalkers other than Liliana. I love Liliana. She's had lots of story and card presence lately.
Yes, yeah.
So he goes, let's see. Here are all the living. So he's knocking Gideon out. Planeswalkers that are monocolored or have a single base color, meaning they can be printed as a monocolored card.
Right.
In white is Ajani, Elspeth, Basri, Nahiri, Teo, and the Wanderer.
6 of them.
6 of them. In blue, there's Jace, Narset, Tameo, Teferi, Tezzeret, Will, Yanling.
Yes.
Which is 7. In black, there's Davriel, Liliana, Obnixilis, and Sorin.
It's only 4.
In red, there's Chandra, Doretti, Jaya, Koth, Luca, Rowan, Sarkin, Tybalt.
That's 8.
8. And then in green, there's Arlen, Garrick, Nissa, Vivian, and Yangu.
Which is only 5.
You were correct that black was low, but wrong about green being number 1. So there's a follow-up or two on this. You didn't actually answer the question they asked. They felt like there's been more mono green walkers printed in recent sets than other walkers. I don't know if that's true or not, and I'd love to see the stats on it if you have them, but they didn't say anything about there being more mono green walkers overall. So let's look at recently released mono-colored planeswalkers in the last year.
Last year.
Not counting planeswalker deck planeswalkers.
Fair.
So not counting the planeswalker decks. White, there's 2. Basri and Elspeth.
Okay.
Blue has 2. Teferi and Bob. That's going to the Un.
Yes, it is.
Black has 1. Liliana. Red has Chandra and Luca. 2. Green has 2. Garrick,
their new Garrick.
And Vivian. So, green is tied for first, but it's not what I'd call more.
4 of the 5 colors all have 2.
And then one final note on this. Planeswalker colors, someone posted this. In current standard, there have been 6 mono white, 5 mono blue, 5 mono black, 9 mono red, and 7 mono green. Worth noting, this includes the 3 Chandras from M20 without the non-mythics. Red and green are tied for most, not counting the Planeswalker deck Planeswalkers. Somebody else did that.
Yeah, I had it. I guess the Chandras from M21 really, or M20
really shot it over the top.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of red.
A lot of red.
And since we mentioned Bob, we'll pick this one up. Uncards like Bob or Urza tend to not stick in the mind. They're illegal in everything and used only in draft and casual play. As much as they are cool, I wouldn't consider them an actual card for things that have been done.
I have to... We always talk about how great Mero is and how nice he is and how well and gracefully he handles things. This is about the snippiest he ever gets at somebody, I have to say, when they insult Unsets.
Imagine steam coming out of his ears as he replies here, even though he's nice.
He's very nice, but this is about as snippy as he gets.
Let's get one thing clear. Silver-boarded cards are real Magic cards. I'm going to read it like I think he meant it.
I believe you're right.
They have a Magic back and can be played in actual games of Magic. Perhaps they aren't played in the format you play. But then Chaos Orb isn't either. And I'm sure you consider that a real Magic card. Magic is a game for many different kinds of players. So we make many different kinds of cards. Just because something isn't for you doesn't mean that it isn't for somebody. Please respect that.
That's about how I read it in my head.
I think that's how he wrote it.
That's about how I read it in his voice.
But with a smile on his face the whole time. I don't think there was any anger. I just think, listen here, buddy.
Yeah.
Silverboard is real.
That's about...
You can touch it, you can feel it, you can play with it, put it in your deck and play it. More than you can a Chaos Orb.
That's right. I think that's about the most aggressive he's ever got with somebody that's asked him a question.
You can get them Silverboard cards. Go find me a Chaos Orb. Quick! Quick!
Yeah.
So, yeah,
somebody had sold
really
his
like
Unsets, and oh my god.
Oh! Bring it out. All right, this next one is a great thought experiment.
It really is.
It is super fantastic. So, if the rest of the Boon cycle... Now, the Boon cycle is all the 1 mana casting cost things that gave you 3 of something from Alpha. So, Lightning Bolt, Healing Salve, Giant Growth, Dark Ritual, and Ancestral Recall. That's what they're talking about. If you're not familiar, let's get there. If they were scaled up to the power level of Ancestral Recall, which is obviously just so far above the others. Lightning Bolt gets a little bit there, but it's a ways.
Yeah.
Okay? What would that look like?
I love how he's honest. It's a little out of his expertise.
It's a little out. So he texted Donald Smith and talked with a number of the play designers.
Right.
Here's his text.
I love this.
So the answers I'm getting right now, this is from Donald Smith, relayed to us by Mero.
Right.
Our Lightning Bolt would be between 5 and 6. So for 1 red mana, you'd have to do 5 or 6 damage to equal the power level of drawing 3 cards for 1 blue mana.
God, I'd love that Lightning Bolt.
Wow. I mean, there's just not a lot of stuff that lives through 6 damage, right?
If it's only 5, a playset kills somebody. I'm just saying.
Dead on turn 3 for Lightning Bolt. All right. Dark Ritual would be between 4 and 5 mana. So you get 4 or 5 mana from a Dark Ritual.
It has the smallest increase, just so you know.
Yeah, so I guess it's actually more powerful than Lightning Bolt in a sense. Giant Growth between 7 and 10.
Yeah.
So 1 green, you can pump your creature up to maybe 10. So your Birds of Paradise do become very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
If for 1 green, play the old Instill Energy, they can pump themselves. Anyway, and then Healing Salve. You guys better sit down or prepare yourselves for this one. Between 20 and 100.
Or infinite.
Or infinite. There are also reasonable arguments being made for Bolt needing to be 7.
Or 10.
Or 10. And Giant Growth needing to be 20. Especially since 100-point Healing Salve counters these 2 directly.
It does create a bit of an issue.
My personal answer is Bolt is 6, Dark Ritual is 5, Giant Growth is 10, and Healing Salve at 100. I'm closer to Bolt and Giant Growth needing to be higher rather than lower, too. LOL.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine for 1 white mana you gain 100 life? Wow.
I love just the honesty or infinite, because... To put life gain on an equivalency of card draw, it's big numbers, man.
This was one of the funnest posts I've seen in a while. This one was just super fun. There were some good ones this week.
I called down to play design, you know.
Hey, what would these cost, man? All right, and then there's a little bit of a follow-up here.
A little bit of a follow-up.
And then we're going to wrap up.
I was thinking about myself some today.
I was really interested in the idea of scaling the Boon cycle. So here's another version.
Yeah.
If the Boon cycle were scaled to the point where they could all be comfortably printed into Standard, what would they be? So Shock and Giant Growth are standard staples. We still get Giant Growth. Shock is Lightning Bolt, so it's 1 less.
1 less.
Yeah. White can get 4 life
for
1 white mana.
I don't know why he misses us here, But blue is opt. That's the card.
Yeah, blue can draw one card, and black could get one black mana, but although it would be out of color pie. But each of these have room for an additional effect.
Hence, opt. That's the closest we're ever gonna get, and it's
Yeah.
a common. So you're either at common or you're at one of the most broken cards ever printed. It's a really card draw is such a tight line because it's even like, could we have 1 mana 2 cards? No. You're not gonna get 1 mana 2. That's too much.
No, it's a you can't do it. It's like a mana. Divination is 3 mana sorcery speed.
Yeah, for 2 cards.
That's the baseline.
Yeah.
So you're trading that card for 2 others. So yeah. But anyway, I thought the boon cycle was very interesting, talking about those, and I found that very, very interesting.
Black can get 1 black mana, so you pay a black mana to get a black mana. I'm trying to,
But you could get an additional effect.
That's true. You get an addition. You get your black mana back and something.
And something else.
Right. Okay.
So you really get something for free on that one.
That's true.
One's really free. Because you would get your black mana and something else. Like I don't know what the other thing would be.
Right.
Maybe you could make a creature have menace or something.
Something like that.
And get your black mana back.
Death touch,
I don't know.
menace, something like that.
Yeah, something of that nature.
Yeah, it is a very fun thought experiment. I agree. It was very interesting to kind of think about how to do that after all this time.
1 white mana, 100 life.
Yeah.
Equals 1 blue mana, draw 3.
Right on. Yeah. But, yeah, Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual might be the closest to being as powerful. I mean, it or Bolt, because free mana, when you go around mana cost,
yeah,
turn
you,
in 1 mana
mess
into
with stuff. We see that all the time.
You turn 1 mana into 3. That's still really good. I mean, they haven't printed it in.
Well, it's out of color pie now too.
Right.
So,
Well, I'm just saying they brought Bolt back to standard long before they brought back Dark Ritual to standard, though, right?
Well, they haven't brought Bolt back to standard.
Well, like 10 years ago or something they did.
Since Lightning Bolt came back, they haven't brought Bolt back.
Right.
Bolt or Dark Ritual is not in color pie for black.
Right.
It won't come back to standard.
Okay.
Red gets rituals. Red gets temporary mana.
Yeah.
And those are too good.
Yeah.
They all end up getting banned and stuff. So
And they've never even given them 1 for 3 though.
No, 1 for 2.
Yeah.
1 would get you 2, but then they had stair steps, and they had to ban some of those because it made the storm decks too good.
And now
that's why there's a storm scale.
Then now the closest we have is what, 4 for 7 or whatever it is. Ironcrack Feet, it's 3 for 7 or 4 for 7.
I think there's still a 2 for 1. You can Pyretic. I think you can still play.
Okay, yeah.
There's that 2 for 3. So
anyway,
that's what we got for this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed bringing it to you.
I hope to see you again next week.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Au revoir.